OK, well, that is the Sunday Papers, and we'll go straight to our program guest now. And this morning we're going to be joined from Brisbane by the Treasurer and Deputy Prime Minister Wayne Swan. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Barry.
Are you surprised to read this morning that, according to Alexander Downer, though he has denied the interpretation of it, but not necessarily the quotes, that Kevin Rudd once leaked against his own party?
Look, I don't think anybody would be surprised to see that the Liberal Party was putting the boot into Kevin Rudd while he's in hospital. They'll do anything to avoid a discussion about the real issues in this campaign, like MySuper, building up the superannuation savings of all Australians, giving them good value for money. For a 30-year-old, for example, our superannuation reforms will be worth about $150,000 when they retire on average earnings.
But that's not an automatic thing, is it? They have to go through a process to qualify for that?
Well, there's two things here, Barry. Of course, there's the improvement to the superannuation guarantee, which will add about $108,000, and then there's the better value account, the MySuper account, if that can be accessed, which would add about $40,000. A fantastic reform, and a reform which is at risk if Tony Abbott is elected Prime Minister of Australia. It's exactly the issue that the Australian people want to hear about in this campaign. Who's got the policies to broaden and to strengthen our economy? OK,
if I can go back to where I started, though, are you then no more persuaded that Kevin Rudd is the source of the leaks against Julia Gillard?
Oh, Barry, there'll be claims and counterclaims like this all the way through the campaign. I said it during the week. Kevin Rudd is an honourable man. We will see these claims go on. I think we will be doing the Australian people a very big disservice if we go on having this type of discussion. What they want to hear about are the issues, the strength of the economy, how we avoided recession, what we do as we go forward to strengthen and broaden our economy. What are we doing in health and education? Mr Abbott is a very big risk to all of those issues.
But you say Kevin Rudd is an honourable man. I want to take you to The Australian on Saturday, and a Rudd confidant from Queensland had spoken to Kevin Rudd and then in turn had spoken to Peter Van Onselen. Now, this person quotes Kevin Rudd directly as saying this, that Wayne Swan drove the agenda on the mining tax. He didn't want to compromise right up until the last minute. Is that a fair analysis of your position?
Barry, if I read everything that people had written about the mining tax and a couple of other very big issues and took it all seriously, I would just have to say that so much of the journalism in this country doesn't necessarily get it right, and we could have the claims and the counterclaims, but it doesn't mean to say it's true.
But this is not even a leak. It's a direct and a declared trail back to Kevin Rudd, and he's telling people that you were the problem on mining tax.
Well, so it is claimed in that paper. I don't accept the validity of that claim.
Is it true, though, as he said, that you were the one who was holding out until the last minute, you were refusing to compromise when that's precisely what needed to be done?
What I was doing, Barry, was pursuing the policy of the government that had been decided by the Cabinet and doing that in a diligent way. And what a fantastic outcome we now have for Australia. We have a source of income which can provide tax cuts to small business, the $5,000 instant asset write-off, a cut to the company tax rate. Contrast that to Mr Abbott's 1.7% company tax increase, a $6 billion fund to support infrastructure, and of course what we've got are all of these improvements to superannuation. Barry, these are the positive stories that the Australian people have a hunger to hear. They don't want to hear about the ins and outs of claim and counterclaim across the newspapers.
All right, well, just before we leave Kevin Rudd, when he recovers from the operation, he will campaign for the Labor Party right around the country. So what has changed? Because on Friday, Julia Gillard said the focus would be on his own electorate. Then he put out a statement saying that he'll go anywhere, any time. So was he persuaded to go around the country?
Oh, look, I believe that Kevin Rudd is a very keen and diligent campaigner. I've seen him campaign in Griffith over the years, and he certainly would be welcome to campaign right around the country. Julia has said that he will be a senior minister in the government. It's only natural that someone in that position would be campaigning around the country. But at the moment, as you know, he's in hospital.
And where he goes and what he says, will that be coordinated by the party as it is with everybody else?
Well, of course it would be, because the fact is that we are in a federal election campaign. There's 3 weeks to go. The campaign is vigorously contested, as you were indicating earlier. The result is really on a knife's edge. So we will be campaigning hard right around the country with the maximum possible coordination.
Can I ask you about factions within the Labor Party? Are they starting to organise themselves again? And if they are, is that necessarily a bad thing?
Well, I've not seen any evidence of the factional outlook changing. As you know, Barry, the factional affiliations have broken down dramatically in recent years, and the